Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild. It's Lightroom Live. Yay, we're here. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. I know I can see me just fine. So if you could start by shouting out where you are watching from, we're going to get right into editing some photos because there's a lot. Definitely a lot. But welcome everybody. And I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Tuesday? Yes. It's been pretty busy around here, not just with RC projects, which there are plenty. There's also a lot of real work happening in my life. So it's been pretty slamming busy lately. So it's nice to kind of chill out and just do some photo editing with everyone watching. So let's get right into it. I'm starting today with Mark Gill's photo. This is a really nice photo. Less about the RC truck, more about the whole background and everything. But I think we're going to make this one look pretty good. Musja, funny you should say that it's Taco Tuesday. It was Taquito Tuesday here again. I already finished them though. There won't be any eating off camera or any nonsense like that. Just typical Tuesday around here, and it was pretty awesome that Rebecca made those again. It's like honestly one of my favorite things that she makes. So thanks Mark Gill for submitting this photo. This is a really nice photo. Not huge, so we're gonna do the best we can with what we've got. I am gonna do a little rotation here because I do kind of want to fix that background a little bit. And that's gonna do it right there. And remember, you got to constrain the crop so everything fits right in. Is that a button shirt? Yeah, it's a collared shirt today. I had a client screening today on my last Zoom call. I always try to look a little professional, a little profesh when I'm doing a sesh. So yeah, it was my full button-up shirt day today. First things first, really nice layout of this photo. I love this big, beautiful sunset here. Hi, kitty. Want to come up here? No, she says I don't. But we're going to clean it up a little bit. We're not going to probably see very much truck because of the nature of this photo being so backlit. It's definitely going to be more artistic. So let's definitely play with that. We'll warm it up a lot. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to crush down the shadows and lower the black content as well, so it becomes much richer and much more contrasty. Okay, you want to come up here? Come on. Come and say hello to the people on the internet. Come on. There we go. Kitty. Kitty. Yeah, it was a very productive day. xcridden523, you send photos to submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. And I should have mentioned that right at the beginning. It's also in the description, so you can't lose it. Nova Scotia, Germany, Louisiana, Alabama, Northwest Ohio, Hamburg, Germany, Sacramento Town, Melbourne. Hope everything's cool down there in Australia. It should be because it's your winter, right? Thanks, Patina guy. I appreciate it. This is one of my favorite shirts. My wife got it for me. All right, back to the photo. Let's get some more drama into the sky here. I think we're going to lower the contrast a little bit, really play up those clouds up at the top there. See if we can't skirt a little bit of blue in there. Not tons. You could go all the way blue, but that doesn't make any sense, right? It's nighttime, sunset. So we're going to throw a little more warmth in there. Saturation feels pretty good. I might pull the greens down a little bit with our HSL color sliders here. Just in terms of saturation, might feel a little better if we kind of do this and a little of that. In fact, hue, we're going to change that as well and make it even more yellowish. No, Jeremiah, I haven't given away the van body yet. That'll be tomorrow night on the live stream with Josh. That's when I'll announce who's winning that. Let's throw a heavy vignette on this, well, medium vignette on this as well. And we're getting nice sun rays there. You can really feel that. Let's give it a little touch of texture. Not too much, because there isn't a lot. You could even, you could go the opposite way and remove texture. But then I think you'd lose the truck. So we're just going to touch that up a little bit. And maybe an overall exposure change. Because this is more about creating drama than it is showing off the truck, like I said. So what we're trying to do here is really kind of take most of the texture out of this truck. So you get a silhouette, but you don't necessarily see the truck. The other thing I'm going to do, and it's a minor thing, but this lens flare down here, which is kind of hard to see. You can see it better over here. What we're going to do with that is we are going to remove it. Yeah, that's the wrong tool. I meant this tool. And I just want to get rid of it because it is a little distracting. There, that's a lot better. Cut back out. Tuning in from just outside Harley's window. It's good. I like it. Hi, Dale. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, so there are a lot of different things you could do with this to make it even more artistic. You could kind of lower the vibrance overall. But I actually like seeing that warmth. Just make it sort of like, these rays coming off the sun. I think that feels pretty good. You could also do something with a preset like this warm contrast. That looks kind of nice too. In fact, I kind of like what that's doing even more, I think. I'm going to go with that. Yeah. It's still applying everything that you've already done. And it's just adding that filter over top. So I think that's looking pretty good. Let's cut to the full screen and do a before and after. Before, after. I think we just created a bit more drama and a bit more about this sun, and I think that looks pretty good. Thanks for the submission, Mark. Much appreciated. And I hope he's watching tonight. In fact, I hope everybody's watching tonight. That's looking really good. So thank you for the submission. All right, moving on. David Crabtree, who has submitted before, and I think in a similar location. We've got a nice looking JK two-door here. It's definitely had some cool metal work done to it in the back here. That looks really neat. Oh, my favorite tire. What a shocker. That's really cool, though. I like this a lot. Very nice. Looks like it's been well used. What are we going to do to this one? Well, I think we'll swing this one. Actually, I kind of like where the temperature's at. I'm going to tint it a bit towards the pink. Exposure-wise, I feel like we're pretty good. Contrast, same thing. Shadows, I'm going to keep quite low. I'm going to bring up the whites a little bit. A little work on the sky here. Just pulling some blue in there. That works for me. Just enough to kind of give it a bit more texture. I like seeing this bridge in the background. That's nice. It does look like it's a little bit off of its rotational center. That feels a little bit better. constrain that as well. I don't think we need to do a crop. What we are going to do is paint some texture into this sand. Just kind of playing around a bit with that. Pulling a window over our truck here. And we're going to give that a touch more saturation, or sharpness, sorry, and saturation as well. And texture, of course, just on the truck, not on the whole photo this time. We're going to warm up that truck ever so slightly and give it a touch more exposure and bring up the shadows just a little bit more. That's looking pretty good. Jeep. Hi, Josh. How are you? Excited for tomorrow morning, I'm sure. Because Josh... How about now? Better? That should be better. I can see the audio levels working again. No volume at all. I'm sure it's back now. Cool. All right, back to work. Oh my God, I can hear my dog upstairs being a total freakazoid. Perfect. I like to hear that word. Doesn't happen very often. What more should we do here? I think I'm going to go back to my paintbrush, and I think we're going to give that a little more saturation and warmth. And you can see where I'm affecting that, right? Just in these areas that I painted in. Excuse me. So I think that's looking pretty good. It's a pretty solid photo. I really like all the reflections coming off the water here. And it just like looks nice. It's a good looking truck in a good looking location. Yeah. Yeah, he's totally parkouring up there. Parkour! Let's go full screen. There's the after. Before, pretty subtle correction. Just enough to kind of give it a bit of life and focus your attention on the truck again. It looks good. Looks really good. Thanks for the submission, David. That is a good one. Oh my God, that dog. All right. Yeah, I know. He is a freak. I don't know why. I'm going to text Rebecca. She has to stop. It's so loud. She probably won't see that text, though. All right, moving on to another photo. Alexander Graf sent in this one. This is definitely more of a comp rig, but I like that it's winter, and I love this mountain background. So this looks like I think this was a hand painting extravaganza here. Yeah, it was. That's pretty cool. I gotta say, that's neat. Yeah, I like the look of that. Definitely comp truck. That looks like... Which one is that? I'm not too familiar with the comp chassis, so someone else will have to help me with that one. Josh, I had to turn RTX off because it was actually glitching out on everybody. So, you know, we had to lose it for now. I can try turning it on again, but it didn't seem to be working very well. Actually, I will. I will restart it because it is worth having on. Oh, now you can see my menu bar. There. I hope that's working again. Yes, it looks like it is. Dog is not on crack. Dog is just dog. All right, let's get to correcting this photo. Killer 2 chassis. Oh, cool. So we're definitely going to cool it off. I might do something like this, where it's like a red lift, where it's just about art, I think, in this one. And yeah, Josh, it's obviously smaller than 2-inch. That must be like a 1/4-inch chip brush or something. Oh man, that's great. Love it. Let's amp up some of the colors here. Because I like the look of that paint. That is pretty cool. Sort of trying to reduce everything else around it and just make it about the truck, which I think is working pretty well there. I'm not too familiar with the comp scene in terms of like these like full-on comp chassis. But yeah, this looks like it's a pretty aggressive truck. It looks like it's got Traxxas portals under it too. And a Mamba X, as I can see right there. All right. I actually quite like that. I mean, it's not a massive, crazy change. It's a pretty simple shot, but I think you really get the impression that it's a nice cold day. Maybe I'll do a little bit of brush work on some of these snow elements here, just to kind of make it feel a bit more deep, like there's depth to some of that snow. And I'm just applying it like an overall exposure lift when I do that. Nothing crazy, but I think it helps. I think it works. Before, after, just a cooler day. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Another nice photo. Thank you, Alexander Graf. Much appreciated. We're just ripping through them today. I'm going for it, man. Johann Johansson sent in this. This is a Ford Bronco. Yeah, Bronco. And it's a good-looking truck. This is the hard body, I think, or is that the Lexan? No, that looks like a hard body, which is pretty rare. I haven't seen a lot of these out there. Can you do this better than Josh? Never mind, Josh has no idea how to do this. I can try to do it better than Josh. Let's do some work on this photo. I think we'll start with a little rotation. And I might try a crop too. I just want to get those trees kind of level or even with the horizon line. So that helps. Let's do a crop. Why not? Yeah, that feels pretty good. Nice. And just going to warm it up slightly. But I am going to tint it back towards some of the green. I'm going to bring up the highlights, crush the shadows down a little bit. Make it more vibrant for sure. I like that these headlights are a bit yellow. They might actually be a little too yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to cool those off a little bit and desaturate ever so slightly so there's still a warm haze to them, but they're not overly yellow. That's much better. Let's see if we can oversaturate that aqua color and really make it pop a little bit. I like that there's some weathering and some rust. It looks like you did the salt trick on this one, which is good. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Most of you probably have done it before. And it's basically taking actual salt after you've applied your rust color on the bottom layer. You wet down the whole body, dump a bunch of salt or rock salt or kosher salt or whatever, table salt works, and then you let that dry and then you paint over it and then you wash it off and then you get this kind of rusty kind of look to it. And it can turn out pretty good, as you can see here. Let's pull up the texture, really get that rust to pop and some more clarity as well. I think we're going to change the hue on the green. Make it a little more green or less green. I think more green in this case, just to really kind of separate the truck. Tint, Joe, is sort of like, imagine that you can sort of put like a kind of a wash over the whole thing. And it's all about sort of the white balance, right? So it's adding either more green or more magenta into the actual overall color of the photo. And like if I can just do a demonstration here. If I swing this tint all the way to the magenta side of things, it gets pretty hard to look at and it probably blinded a few people. But it's sort of like adding color into the whole thing overall. Let's do some grain on it. I think we'll go heavy on the grain. And I'm not sure what's going on with the audio tonight. It's so weird. So weird. But it looks like it's okay now. I don't know. It's a weird one for sure. No orange. Orange is trash. Hopefully we're back. Yeah, I know what it says. I'm not sure why that's happening. Everything looks clean on my end. We'll give it a second here, guys. Looks like we're back. Gosh. Me and my live streaming. No, it's not a CPU overheat. Not at all. Looks like we're okay now. All right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to blame. It's so weird. Everything's usually pretty solid, and it is a hard connection too, so it's not like anything's failing. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm doing my best here. All right. Hopefully this is back. Yeah, looks like we're okay. Definitely behind. I'm going to try quitting some stuff just in case. I mean, I don't have very much running, so... Close out of that. La la la. There we go. All right. So, yeah, sort of finished this photo. I think it's looking pretty good. And, yeah, let's move on to another one. This is from Milo Aho. And I've been meaning to correct this one for a while. This is a pretty interesting Defender. Looks like it's at a bit of a construction site here. Yeah, looks like a pretty cool truck. Definitely something I've been meaning to do. So let's give it a go. Unfortunately, this background isn't the best, nor is the foreground. There's some weird stuff going on here. So I think we're going to do a heavy crop on this one. Somewhere in that region, probably. No, I mean, no, there's nothing on the internet side of things that would suggest that there's anything wrong. There's no dropped frames in my OBS studio. It's just that YouTube wasn't getting enough internet for whatever reason. But everything seems fine now. Yes, that's true, Josh. I do like to shame you with my CPU temps, which are very low, I might add. 38 right now, so I feel like we're doing pretty good. Okay, let's do what we're supposed to do. This looks like a Traxxas TRX4 with some VXT tires on it. Nice looking model. I like how rusty it is. My only critique, I've got two actually. Spare tire doesn't match, but maybe that was on purpose. And like I said, I've never really heard a critique builds, but Defenders don't rust like this. They were aluminum, so I'll let it slide this one time. Cool photo. Cool looking truck for sure, Milo. Thank you for the submission, and happy to do a little correction on this. Let's amp up those reds and oranges and yellows. Maybe even white balance it a little hotter. Throw something over the top of it. Don't worry. Don't fear that. That'll go away. And we'll do something like that. Yeah, general hobbies. I figured it wasn't me. I think YouTube has done some weird stuff with their servers and how these programs interact with them. But it seems like everything's okay now, so we're gonna go with it. Try our best. Yeah, see? Excellent connection. We're gonna amp up that rust by adding texture and clarity, so it really pops the rust out. And you get nice... I like how he trimmed the edge of the light buckets too. That's pretty cool. Definitely more like Armageddon style build, and shows. Looks pretty cool. Do a heavy vignette on this one. And yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Heavy metals in the paint. Yeah, okay, there you go. That'll play. And I think we're going to do something a bit wacky here, and I hope that this works. Pay no mind to that or that. We're going to invert that and do a bit of a defocus. And we're going to swing the feather way out. Do something a bit like that. That way we're making less of this background by blurring it and making it more about the truck. Yeah, I don't think we can do much about the building. We're just going to have to leave it where it is, but I think what we've done there has helped for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty cool. Now let's go full screen for a moment. Man, not getting enough frames again. I don't know what is going on. This is crazy. Before and after. Before, after. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. Thanks, Milo, for the submission. I'm really happy with that one. And of course, like every other time, I'll once these are corrected, I throw them into a different folder and I email them back to everybody so they have them to share. And hopefully when you do get them, you share them on your Instagram and you tag the Scale Builders Guild in them so I can see them and share them on my stories as well. And if you would like to submit a photo, submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. No, Dale, it's not TV, it's my wife talking to her mom. So nothing I can do about that. What I'd like to do is do these in my my workshop, but it's just impossible for me to look at the screen and have everything in the right place. We'll try that again maybe at some point. I do have a new monitor stand, so it is a bit easier. Maybe we'll give it a go. But I do like working at this computer. It's a much faster system than that one. Hi, Kitty. All right, let's go on to Jared Arndt's Cherokee here. Very desaturated photo, and I think we're actually going to try to play that down a little bit and bring some saturation back in. See what we can find in here anyway. See, there's definitely some saturation in the rock there, which is pretty cool. I like bringing that up, and there we go. A little more vibrance overall. It's already helped dramatically. No, she's not streaming Netflix. She's on the phone. But thanks for all your helpful suggestions, guys. I don't mean to shoot everybody down, but it's not here. It's not me. It's just sometimes the internet isn't going to be perfect. It looks like everything's functioning fine now, though, so we'll go with it for now. Just desaturated the reds a little bit, and I think we'll desaturate the yellows a touch as well, so they're not like blasting us in the face. But that already feels pretty cool. Let's add a little bit of drama into the sky a little bit. I don't think we'll do a sunset. That doesn't make much sense. Although it doesn't hurt the photo, if I'm honest. Taking another look at it again, that's not too bad. Yes, Manuel, I am on a Ryzen chip, actually. I'm on a Ryzen 5 3600. I can't remember. Pretty sure it's a Ryzen. 5 3600, yes, I was right. Already I'm feeling a lot better about this photo. I'm just going to pump up the exposure a little bit, but I'm going to bring down the highlights so the body doesn't get too reflective. A little oversaturated there, but that's better. And I think we'll have to do our standard texture and clarity. Already that's feeling pretty good. I like what that's doing a lot, actually. Maybe we'll do a little bit of paint work. Paint some... Don't worry about the yellow for now. That'll go away. Hi, kitty. She's very chatty. Yes. Hi. Okay. That's feeling pretty good. What do you guys think? There's the before and after. It's pretty cool. I like that. Thank you, Jared Arndt, for sending that photo in. What's that sticker say on the side there? What is that? Eliminator. Is that what that says? Eliminator RC? Yeah, nice one. I like it. Looks good. Nice truck. Thank you for submitting. Let's do another one. This is from RC Adventurer, and we've got a little Ford on Dodge action here. Nice trailer combo. You would definitely tow that Dodge to the trailhead, I think. That looks good. What axles are those? I've never seen that axle. Does anybody know what that axle is? That's interesting. That looks pretty cool. Very nice setup. I like that a lot. TRX4 obviously up front, but I'm not sure what that axle is. All right. Texture, clarity. Clarity always helps. Man, that looks so much better already. I like the widescreen nature of this shot too. Looks pretty cool. Oops. Where are my HSLs? I'm going to change the hue on the greens. But desaturate them at the same time. So they're there, but they're not like in your face. I like this sunset. What sunburst? Is that what they called it? I just like how smooth that cover is. Looks cool. This definitely feels kind of vintage too, so we'll throw some grain over it. Man, there isn't much I'm gonna do to this actually. It just kind of already fit right in. Just warming up some of these foreground elements a little bit. Just using the brush tool. Kind of brings your attention to the foreground. Do a little overall here on these guys. See if we can bring those highlights down a little bit. Not a ton of info there, but some. Bring the shadows down a little bit more. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. The missing screws on the bead locks. Oh. Oh yeah. No, they're not missing. It's the wheel. They're actually, it's got writing on the side, so they're not missing. It's just intentionally not there. But good eye. Good eye there, Alex. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. Maybe this is worthy of a preset. Aged photo? No, that's not so great. The red lift is kind of nice. Warm contrast isn't bad. Or maybe we just don't do one. You know what? Yeah, let's not do a preset. This one actually looks pretty good. Anything pulling a dodge makes sense unless it's another dodge. Well, if you can't dodge it, ram it. That's looking pretty good though. RC Adventurer, nice photo. Let's do a little before and after here. Before, really subtle correction. Just a few things here and there. That looks pretty good. IKS27, you can send any of your photos to submissions@scalebuildersguild.com, and there is a link in the description. Well, not a link, but the email address is in the description, so you can definitely send your photos there, and I will correct them eventually. So let's move on. Thank you very much, RC Adventurer, for sending that photo in. Very nice collection you've got there. Oh, another Jeep. This is a good looking Jeep. This reminds me a lot of the box art for the SCX-10-2. Very classic. What was that one? Who made that one? JCR, right? JCR Off-Road. Yeah, this is good. This is nice. Looks like you've got some sort of inner fender in there too. Excellent. Steve Hayes, thank you for sending this in. Looks like that bumper's got some good use already in on it. Nice. Yeah, let's do some stuff. I'm going to invert this one. We're going to crank out the sharpness. Oops. Feather that out a whole bunch. Kind of put our focus over here so this falls off naturally. That should do it. Less filling. Tastes great. Amp up our texture. I like this growler tire. It's always been one of my favorites in the 1.55 size. This is a little, this is perfect though for this truck. It looks just right at home. Let's amp up the clarity too. That helps. See if we can bring those highlights down so we get a little more texture back into the body. Not a ton of info there, so let's kind of crush it down a little bit anyway. And maybe for fun, let's change the hue on those greens. somewhere in there. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. Sometimes the simple corrections are the easiest one, or most difficult corrections are the easy ones. Like when you aren't really doing a ton, sometimes you can overthink it and try and do too many things. But this is working pretty well, I think. I'm also going to desaturate our reds a little bit so they're not so in your face, especially the shocks. I mean, I like the shocks being red. I think they look cool. But just want to bring down the saturation a little bit. And then I think we'll throw a nice medium vignette on there. And I think we'll call that one done. Let's go full screen. Before and after. And yeah, Mary Malone, it might look too white, but if there's no information there, and that's where a raw photo kind of comes into play. If it's a raw photo, there might be some information in there and you can get a little more texture and a little more depth out of it. But when it's overexposed, it's overexposed. There's nothing you can do to get rid of that. So we work with what we have. And I think we've got some nice stuff going on in that photo. So thank you, Steve, for your submission. Let's do another one in front of a dam. That's a damn good looking dam. This one's coming from Jared Arndt again. I must have gotten to Jared's first photo. I wanted to get to as many today as I could, so here we go. Let's first fix that rotation. Get that dam a little more straight up and down. And also, by proxy, it fixes the truck as well. We constrain that crop so we get it right back in. And I don't mind it being sort of off to the left here. I think it actually works pretty well there. It's great to have a nice, interesting backdrop like that. So let's work with it. We're going to warm up those rocks a little bit. Bring some vibrance into this scene. That blue sky is so blue. It's crazy. Texture and clarity. Just a touch of clarity this time. We're also going to do a desaturation on the reds overall so that danger keep away is a little less in your face. Luminance, though, I'm going to turn that back down. So you get more darkness in the reds, but you don't oversaturate and it doesn't get any brighter. So that is one way to do it. But I think that really helps out. Good looking ruby. I like this new body a lot. I've got a whole whatchamacallit, Vanquish VS410 chassis kit and a clear body thanks to Pardon My Noob, another JL. That'll be my third, I guess. So I'm gonna put that together soon. I think that's gonna be my kind of runner for this season that's almost over. God. That's going to be my runner and sort of like my go-to just go crazy truck. I'm also doing a replica of my own Jeep, but I'm making some changes to that first. I've got some parts on order, yada yada yada. Alex, this isn't a webcam. This is my Sony A6500 that I'm using, which is why it looks so good. Yeah, it's like a regular everyday mirrorless digital SLR style camera, so that's why it looks better than most webcams. Anyway, back to photo editing. I don't think we're going to do too much to the blues overall because this is actually looking pretty good. But saturation wise, I am going to increase our oranges and our yellows to really make those rocks pop and make it really nice and bright. Might play and see if there's any aqua in some of that water. Looks like there's a little bit in there. And same thing with greens as well. Just kind of amping up all of these textures in the background here, as you can see. And throw a light vignette on this one. It doesn't need a lot. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Let's see it up close. I think that's looking pretty good. Before, after. No, Mike, I am not a Jeep snob. I am an appreciator of all vehicles. I do prefer my Jeep, but I almost bought a Tacoma, if that means anything. Yeah, but I went for, you know, whatchamacallit, capability over reliability. Brian, I had Canons for years, but when Sony started to release these smaller, lightweight, really high quality 4K video mirrorless cameras, I switched over and haven't looked back. It was the best thing I've ever done. I really like my Sonys. I think we're good. I think this one's done. Before, after. Good looking photo. Thank you, Jared. How many have we done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done 8 so far. Alex, the webcam for the other one is like an Amazon. I think it's called the Vitade. I think it's a 60p 1080 camera, and it's decent. It's not too bad. It's what I use for all my live Zoom chats with my clients. So. It works pretty well. I can find the Amazon link for you if you really want to. You could just email me at submissions and I'll let you know which one it is. Let's do this one from JK. It's an Isuzu. This is the MU, right? Isuzu Mu or Mu? Yeah. Green on green. Nice sunny background. Some good texture and some rocks and stuff. This should be fun. I don't think we don't need to do any rotation or crop. I actually really like what's going on here. Yeah. It's good. It's really nice. Not a lot of info in that background. Mark, yeah, buying a Tacoma and living in a Tacoma. Well, I guess I could live in my Tacoma. In fact, you know what? If I had gotten the Tacoma, I probably would be living in it because my wife was very much against any kind of pickup truck, which is why I have a JK or JL, or got a Wrangler now instead, which I am happy with. I like my Wrangler a lot. I just tinted this rock a bit blue. Mary, this isn't really about critiquing the vehicles. It's more about making the photos look good. And I actually think these wheels suit this Isuzu. I think they're actually pretty spot on for the age and era of the truck. One thing I will do, though, is I will clean up this spare tire thing here and see if we can't delete that. There we go. Nice. Yeah, it was an Amigo. That's right. They called that the Amigo in the US. Texture always helps, and clarity. I'm going to overcrank this one because I like what it's doing to this, bringing out a lot more texture. I'm also going to window the truck itself. And feather that out a bit more. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to toss a heavier vignette on this one. I wish I could do something about this sky, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I just think it's going to probably just kind of live there. Here, I'll desaturate it a bit. That feels a little more natural, but I'll add contrast back in. There we go. Cool. I think that's looking pretty good. Let's do a full screen. Before, after. I like that. That looks pretty good. Josh. No, I get the reference, but I live in a van down by the river. Let's move on. What should we do now? Let's do a moose jaw photo. I like this one. And thanks to JK for sending in that CC01. It's such a venerable chassis. It's been used a million times, but it's really great. Jared, Eliminator RC is my local hobby shop. Oh, nice one there, man. Thanks for representing your LHS. What are we gonna do to this one? Backlit. I love the solar flare on the windshield, though. Joe, that's really nice. Let's see if we can't... I mean, the background obviously is California. The California. And now welcome to the singing channel, where I sing about trucks. Oh, man. Joe... Oh, remember Joe Isuzu? What a nice man he was. Ah, shucks. All right, so I'm giving you a touch of exposure and lifting some stuff, but I'm going to crush down the shadows again. And maybe lose some of that warmth, but not too much. And that's just an overall window correction, which I think is nice. Texture to get that rust, because you've done the salt. Did you do the salt trick on this one too? Yeah, it's time to pick on Moose Jaw. Cool interior, Joe. I'm sorry, I can't be mean to you. You're nice. What's it say on the license plate? Chad? Is that Chad? Does it say Chad? Make it pink. Okay. Ooh, I kind of like it red. That's kind of hot. No, keep it orange, dude. Or whatever color this is. It's a challenging photo, but it's a good photo. I don't think it's all that challenging, if I'm honest. I like it because it's different. I mean, we could go super hot. Or we could tint. Ugh. No, see, tint is very challenging. You don't want to go too far with that, ever. I'm just kind of doing my best to sort of lift the truck and to make it feel a little more depth or deep. Definitely going to saturate and bring up some luminance in the greens, or bring the luminance down so you get a bit more, like it's really affecting this here. Watch that. See? I like that. Cool, cool, cool. Those are the Voodoo KLRs that you got on there, Joseph? They look like Voodoo KLRs. Maybe we'll bring some more warmth into that sky too. There we go. That was camel yellow? Oops. There. That's better. Before. After. Now it's more camel yellow. See, for Joe, I'm going to be faithful to the color that he actually painted it, and not and not pull a Harley on it. You know that the yellow that I used for my Marlin was called chrome yellow, and I was like, ooh, chrome yellow. I was like, what does that even mean? I still don't really know, but it looks good. Brian, yeah, that is a Lexan body. That's the TRX4 Sport camper body, they call it, because it has a topper on the back. But there you go, Joe. Full screen, before, after. I like it. Before, after. Wow, the latency is crazy. I'm so behind. Anyway, very nice photo, Joe. Thank you for your submission. What have we done now? That's 10? That's 11, actually. No, that's 10. 10. All right, let's do a couple more here. What time is it? 9:30. Ah, this is your loaner truck. Ah, explains why there's so many scratches on the hood and roof. Sorry, rough, if Josh is still here. Which one should I do next? I'm doing another JL. This one was from Axial Fest Badlands, I believe, because I see a flag there, and there, and there, and over there, and up there. Let's see what we can do here. This is from Greg Brophy, and I like this color. This is, I don't think they're doing a lime green of this style. They have Mojito, which is pretty close, but this is good. I like it. We're going to do a crop. I think we'll do a fun crop on this one to really kind of play up this rock element that they're going over. And I think I'm going to try to get rid of that flag. There. Gone. You don't say roof, Josh. You say rough. I've heard you say it. Rough. Check out the cool rough on that truck. Wow, $10, Joe. That's too generous. You'll need to start your own live stream channel so I can give you $10 back. Thank you very much, Joe. That's very, very kind of you. You're a heck of a guy. You're much nicer than that guy, Josh. Josh is really going to stick it to me tomorrow. I know he is. I can feel it. But that's fine. It is what it is. Just gonna do my texture and clarity here. See, like that really helps a lot. I'm gonna window the truck a bit. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it this yellow. The roof is on fire. Okay. That's pretty cool. Gonna bring some blues into those rocks, as you can see. And it's actually, what I'm doing is I'm pulling in so much blue that it's actually making some of the blacks go blue. That's on purpose, because I'm trying to make this a bit artier. Oops, undo. And I'm just gonna, what I'm doing here is I'm just bringing some warmth into some of these leaves up there. And then I'm gonna use my brush tool and I'm gonna paint in some of an exposure change in here. I know it looks yellow right now, it's just because that's where the preset was for this before, but we're gonna crank that out and crush down that. Bring in some contrast. And then we'll throw a vignette over the whole thing, a nice heavy one. And I think that's looking pretty cool. Definitely a different look than was in there before. Joe's live stream would be how to do things wrong, but better. Woody's, hey, no problem. Always happy to do photos. And like I say every single week, if you've got photos you want me to correct or you want me to play with, like I am with this one, send them to submissions at scalebuildersguild.com and I will get to them. Because this is fun. I always get a kick out of this. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it too. And if you could show me some appreciation and hit the like button, that would be really super helpful. Thank you. Much appreciated. Greg, I think we're done with this photo. Let's do a little before and after on the full screen here. Before and after. That looks pretty great. Oh, I'm seeing one thing I do want to do, and that's fix the saturation on the red, which is a little bit hot there on the rear tail light. And I also see another flag I want to get rid of. That's good. We'll get rid of that one too. And that's gonna do it. All done. One more before and after. Sweet. Thanks, Greg. Much appreciated. I like, you know what? I like greens too, Patina guy. It's a difficult color to live with every day. I don't think I could, like I bought Stingray for my JL. I don't think I could do Mojito. I considered Nacho, but they didn't offer that one any longer. I think it was like Mango by the time I got to it. Is there such a thing as too much vignette? Absolutely, Joe, and I'll try and show you one. Ooh, let's do this TRX6. What a good choice. Ooh, I like this one a lot. James Liu sent this one in. It looks like he blacked out the grill, which is super slick. If anybody out there is watching and knows, I'm trying to figure out what cable there might be to connect the existing light system to the 8S VXL speed control. I don't, like, you can't just wire it direct. It doesn't work that way. So I may have answered my own question just by thinking about it. I think I just need to make an adapter to go JST to the weird mini JST. Anyway, never mind. Looks like James also did a wrap on his. He's got some carbon fiber looking stuff on there, which looks really cool, and an additional bit of roof rack business going on. Nice looking TRX6 aftermarket Hyrax tires, and looks like SSD wheels. I can't be too sure, but that's a nice looking truck. Let's have some fun with this one. We're not going to get anything out of the sky, but let me show you, Joe, what like too much vignette would look like here. Let's see if I can quickly make this happen. Bad example, because this actually looks pretty cool. But this is like an extreme vignette. And if you change the feathering, you can really see how weird that starts to look. But if you really feather it out, and then you pull this out even further, then you get a really cool effect. I quite like that. I think we're going to go with it, actually. And while I'm at it, I might as well add another window here just on the truck itself. It's funny, I just, for the Mayhem video tomorrow, I took some photos of my truck out in the location where I did my first little bit of running. And I'm so happy with how the photos turned out. I think you're really going to like the thumbnail of the video. And I did a little Photoshop wizardry on it as well. So I'm going to try doing something here that I don't think I've ever really done before, and I don't know if it's going to work all that well. It's probably going to be... might look a little strange, but I'm going to try it anyway. Just adding some, like, I guess you'd call it like headlight sort of reflection on the ground. Yeah, I think that actually looks kind of cool. And I'm just adding some vibrance in so the blacks kind of go a little more blue. Feels a little more reflective. And I am going to give it a touch more saturation too. But that looks pretty cool, man. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm just going to play around a little bit with the positioning of these things. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It's definitely different, and that's what I like about it. It's a good, interesting photo to start with. And James, you did a very nice job. Thank you very much for submitting your photo. Let's go full screen. Wow, that looks so rad. Very, very cool. Before? After, just about amping up the drama. And it was a nice photo. It really held up. It's a raw photo, so there's lots of range, and looks awesome. Very pleased with that one. This is a candidate, I think, for photo of the night, or photo of the week anyway. That's pretty awesome. I like that one. And while I'm thinking of it, we probably should do the cover photo or the thumbnail photo for this week as well. This one's from Mike Guy. And this looks like it was at USTE. I know these bridges or these abutments anywhere. Very cool. I like the Hilux. I like a good orange Hilux. I had one for a very long time. Not a real one, obviously, but this looks great. Nice lineup of Hiluxes, actually. All right. I'm going to pull down the exposure a little bit on this one, but lift our shadows. And I'm going to tint this a tiny bit warmer. And we're going to amp up our red saturation and our orange saturation and our yellow saturation. And I think our guest has finally arrived. Hey, come here for a second. Come over here. No, over here, over here, over here. Alexander, come. Come on, come over here. Come and say hi. Hey, jump on up here. No, up here, up here, up here. Hey, goofball, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come up and say hello to the people. You wanna come up here? Come on. You can do it. Jump. Come on. No. Not gonna be on TV tonight, huh? All right. You just chill right there then. I'll work around you, don't worry. Ding dong. He's busy, I guess. Hey, where are you going? Come here, please. All right. Goofball. Yeah, the long wheelbase Hiluxes are nice. I see one in the background there. You know what? Let's go vintage. Let's go aged on this one, but we're going to still play with it a bit more and maybe even do a bit more work on it here. This could use a crop, I think, when I look at it. I don't want to lose too much of this kind of wood stuff. I think that's all pretty cool. Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated. You really, hey, you just like really crammed yourself into the corner here. He's like right underneath the desk. Let's go full screen for a second. I just want to show this photo off a little bit more. There's lots of really great details on these trucks. I love these ARB style bumpers. This is a Marlin, obviously. Then you got a 4-door, and I wish I could tell what the back one was. Oh well. Let's actually, you know what, while I'm thinking about it, let's crop in a little tiny bit more so we don't see the edge of that tree. That's better. And let's bring up the texture and the clarity, but then let's regrain it. So medium grain feels nice and aged. And I'm going to throw more tint into it and warmth overall. I lower the exposure again. Crush down the blacks a little bit more. And maybe even get some more contrast in. Actually, no, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to lower our contrast, but then I'm going to paint some in places. Kind of giving a bit of life to those trees. That's pretty neat. Oops. I'm just kind of giving some hints of exposure and texture into these pieces of wood. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Oh, the back one's a TF2 short wheelbase. Ah, nice. The least good performing version. Awesome. That's great. All right. What else should we do to this? I feel like that's probably good. Let's change the hue up on that blue, the background there, so it is a touch more blue. I sort of lost a bit of that as we were messing with it. Yeah, I kind of like what that photo's doing. All right. Definitely worthy of a vignette as well. There we go. Before, after. I'm going to do, actually, while I'm here, I'm just going to change the hue on our oranges a little bit Just a touch. There we go. Before, after. Just something different. I think that looks pretty good though. Pretty happy with that. I think maybe we'll do one more here. And then we're going to call it a night, I think. We're going to do one for the Scale Boaters Guild. I've never done a boat. I've never had a boat, ever. This one's from Just RC. And he thought it would be interesting to do one. So let's do one. I already know where I'm going to start. And that's in our background here. And definitely going to give that a touch more blue sky and toss a little bit of warmth in there as well, tinting it more towards magenta. And we're going to lower the exposure a little bit. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and don't freak out. I'm going to bring it down here and spin it all the way around. So we're getting sort of a reflection of the sky in the water. Cool, huh? That actually feels really good. Rest of the photo, texture, clarity. And then I think I'm going to get rid of whatever that is over there. And we'll get rid of the reflection of that, whatever that is. And that's cleaned that up. And I think this is probably just a bubble on the surface. I think we'll get rid of that too. There we go. Much better. We're going to increase the saturation of our reds and our oranges so that boat really pops off the water. Wow, that is a nice looking boat. I don't know much about boats. You scratched my anchor. Is that my boat? And let's do some of this. And this is not, I'm not going to do it everywhere. It's just I'm doing little bits and pieces. Just to give it some texture and some depth and some background elements. Almost like the sun's peeking through a bit of clouds. I guess we could do a window over the boat itself. Oh man, that might be a bit too much in the warmth department, but I do like what it's doing. So I'm just going to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, that's a good looking boat, man. Just going to give that a little less overall exposure. And then maybe we'll lift shadows a little bit too, just a touch. And then I think we're good on the boat. That's pretty cool. Pretty sure those are seats, CJ, but a little before, after. I like that. That's a good looking correction. And you know what? While I'm at it, I know Brian, Bri, you've been waiting on this for a couple of weeks. Let's do your camel trophy. Love the sky. That's a great looking sky. Good rack focus, or a nice depth of field on this as well. Nice that you drove it up to this portion and not plopped it down. So let's give this a touch of vibrance, saturation. Really get that camel yellow kind of popping a bit here. Maybe desertify it a little bit. And we're going to lift the exposure and the shadows too, because I want to see some more texture in the front end. I love seeing limb risers on a Defender. It's like one of my favorite things. I actually have a bunch of scale limb risers that came out of a like an airplane supply place, of all places. And really going to amp up that texture and clarity. And definitely going to grain it up. That medium grain feels pretty heavy because this is probably a small photo. So we'll go light instead. That's still pretty cool though. Throw a tiny vignette on there too. And then saturation, well actually we're going to change the hue on your yellow so it gets to be a little more in that camel yellow kind of place. There's a lot of yellow in the frame, so it's not going to react super well to it, but do what we can. And what else should we do? Maybe not much. I'm going to lift up the blacks a tiny bit more so it feels a bit more aged. There we go. Feels pretty good. And maybe we'll do... I know that feels pretty extreme, but I'm just going to do a little bit in the corner there. And then, oh, look at the saturation on this red. It's way hot. We'll pull that down too. There we go. That's a good looking truck. Nice job. Is it Brianna? I believe it is. Nice job. Looks really good. Do a little before and after. Really nice framing on that photo too. Yeah, it looks really good. Nicely done. All right, I think that's where we're probably going to end. Let's do a little review of all the photos we did tonight. Let's start with the first one we did here, Mark Gill. Very nice artistic sunset photo. I think that's a Chevy. Looks like a Chevy to me. And if there's one that you guys really think was the best one of the night, by all means throw a comment in there and we'll try to take a sort of an informal vote. Then there was, I think we went back to the beginning of the list here, David Crabtree with his JK in front of the bridge, which I think is quite nice. Looks really good. And then we moved on to Alexander Graf's comp truck in the mountains, the snowy mountains. Then on to Johann Johansson. Oh, we should be doing before and afters. What's wrong with me? Before, after, before, after. Johann Johansson, before and after. Milo's cool looking rusty Defender, before and after. I think we really helped that photo out with the framing for sure. Jared's Cherokee, before and after. RC Adventurer showing us how most Dodges get taken around. Before, after. Very subtle correction on that one, but it was a great photo to start with. Steve Hayes XJ, before, after. Jared's second submission for this evening. Nice looking JL. Before, actually we'll do that one not full screen so you can see the whole effect. Before and after. Very cool. JK's Isuzu. Before and after. Loose Jaws TRX4 loaner rig before and after. Greg's JL from Axial Fest this year, before and after. This one might get my vote for photo of the night from James Liu, before and after. And then we did Mike Guy's Convoy, before and after. You know, just getting rid of that little bit of background does make it feel a lot more real, which I think is pretty cool. Then which did we do? The boat from Just RC, before, after. That's also a strong contender in my mind. And finally, Brianna's D90, before and after. And that's going to do it. So what's everyone's favorite for this evening? Put your comments in so I can get an idea of what you're thinking is the best photo of the night. And of course, don't forget to watch tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Monthly Mayhem, Week 2. Some things were done and some speeds were achieved. Am I faster than Josh? Probably not. But I mean, we all sort of saw that coming, right? But, you know, I think I made a valiant effort for week 2. Still lots of stuff to come on that one. And looking forward to getting your feedback and seeing everyone again tomorrow night live at 9 o'clock Eastern. Thank you very much for submitting your photos. Again, if you'd like to see your photos on Lightroom Live, send them to submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. I'm going to keep doing this for the foreseeable future, so as long as you guys keep submitting photos, I'll keep doing these live shows. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, guys and girls and everyone else in between. Have yourself a lovely evening, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.